Greetings, I'm Hellena Pugh, a Marine Corps veteran and the host of your 5-Minute Salute. Today I have with me Lieutenant Cory DeBoe from the United States Navy. Cory, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, how did you become a member of our nation's military?
So I joined through OCS after graduating college back in 2017. Commissioned in 2018, moved down here to Jacksonville in July of 2018. I was a surface warfare officer at Mayport, right down on the beach for the last 4.5 years.
Wow.
Transitioned from the active component to the reserve component last August. Was at the reserve unit at NAS Jacksonville, and then ultimately came back in an active duty status for the reserves as a CANREC officer recruiter for the Navy Reserves.
Excellent. So that's actually a bit of what you do today. You are a recruiter. Specifically, who are you trying to get into our nation's military?
So I'm a transition assistant from the active component to the reservist component, but also prior service. So those that have gotten out and who have thought about potentially putting it back on, and also anybody who has had interest in not wanting to serve full-time but still wanting to be able to serve the Navy in some form or fashion. There's a lot of versatility and flexibility that is offered to the reserves that doesn't get to be spoken on just because it gets associated with a full-time commitment.
Right. So this is a perfect opportunity for those people who have thought about, either branch hopping or, like you say, they don't necessarily want to do a full-time commitment, but they really want to be introduced to what it would be like to be a military officer. This is when they would contact you.
100%. For those that are getting out, it's as soon as you can within that last year window. If you've gotten out, there's no time like the present, and it doesn't hurt to take your information if you've ever had interest or know someone that has, just simply because it's a different obligation. It's a different protocol that we take than the active component. You're still serving the Navy, but they're two completely different entities that work for the Navy. So
excellent. So for someone like you, I know that you have a background that included athletics when you were in college, and then like you said, you did the OCS, which is the Officer Commissioning Program. So for students who were like athletes, people who were athletes and want to come into the Navy, they would benefit from this type of program as well, right?
100%. For me, the way I look at it, it's a healthier balance of time. Because for me, when I got out, played through college, when I was done playing sports, I longed for that. I knew as a kid I would either be a professional athlete or I would serve in some branch. But for me, transitioning to the reserves, it's given me more of the flexibility of time and schedule, which, as well, just when you're all in active duty, that is your entire life. Where with this, you get back to being a teammate. You get back to all looking like one and feeling the repercussions, but also the benefits of being a part of a team. That accountability is what we all want. And with the flexibility through the reserves, it also helps financially and from the benefit standpoint with TRICARE Select and being able to provide into a retirement. Those are all benefits that you get, but not having to serve full time. So,
excellent. And you get a little bit more time with your family too.
A lot. Yes.
Well, that's excellent. So it's kind of a tricky because you're a little bit of an active duty person, but you're a little bit of a veteran as well. So there was some transition in there for you. What's something that you learned through your transition that you think helped you with this process?
Time and space. That is the biggest thing that I preach to anybody. You think you have a plan, and we learn this in all branches of service in our own verbology. But every plan is great until it meets first contact.
That's right.
What's your second and third orders of your planning? For me, I got out, and my first plan didn't work out. I went without a job for almost 6 months. Thankfully, thank God that I had financially set myself up to where if that happened. But going into 2023, there was a lot of uncertainty, not only for me, but for the country. And if you're unemployed at that time when a lot of the country is rising in that realm, that leaves you very uncertain, especially for my life. From 22 to 27, I had a guaranteed paycheck. I had guaranteed health care. So I would say time and space, and do your research because it's your own livelihood. It's your own career. And don't make drastic decisions based off emotions.
That's right.
Don't make today's decision based off what happened yesterday. Because it can cascade into things. Not that was my experience, but I've had a lot of people walk away from opportunities that they shouldn't have, but they made a emotional response instead of thinking of the longevity of their life.
Right. Well, you know, this has been like an excellent conversation. I think anyone who has any questions about, you know, whether or not a reserve opportunity would be for them, anyone who's looking at an upcoming transition, like you say, anyone that's in that last maybe year or so of their current contract, and they're thinking about maybe, you know, that's what we call those branch hoppers, people thinking about coming over into another branch. The Navy is available.
It is.
And you guys are still sailing the seas, right?
100%. 100%.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Lieutenant Cory. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your time today. It's been awesome.
Excellent. So, listen, viewers, if you want to learn more about Cory and check out past past versions of our show, do me a favor, swing by our website at ZaharaVets.org, and you'll learn more. Thanks for joining us today.